Boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew, here to bring you guys a live overreaction show. Now, as I'm speaking, I am stalling so I can pull up the chat room and everything like that. But listen, guys, this was a bad one. This was a really, really, really bad one. Before I get down to the nitty-gritty, before I break it all down, I want to thank you guys for checking us out here, okay? Follow us on YouTube if you have not done so already. Click that subscribe button, click the little bell. It's going to let you know what's going on and what's happening with us here. As soon as we go live, you guys will know immediately, all right? So we also want you guys to check out the website. We also want you guys to check out the website. The website is www.nothingbutniners.com. There you are going to see everything that has to do with us. We have articles. We have all the social media pages there. And we have even like things, a little calendar page that shows you different 49ers outings and goings on. So you guys want to check that out, okay? All right. Again, that is www.nothingbutniners.com. Hit us up on the social media pages. We have Nothing But Nine ERS on Snapchat as well as Twitter. And we have Nothing But Niners spelled all the way out on Facebook and Instagram. We try to bring you guys everything. Now, guys, I have nobody joining me from the Nothing But Niners crew today. That is how bad this game was, that no one even wants to talk with me. So if you guys are interested in joining, you got to let me know. I will try to shoot you guys a link. Shoot us an email. Grab your pen, grab your paper, because I'm going to be watching the email very carefully. All right? Let me know when you guys are ready. You can't let me know when you're ready. I am watching the chat, but here it is. The email is nbniners@nothingbutniners. You want to get your 2 minutes to sound off, then by all means, the time is yours, okay? Again, nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. That is the email address. So if you guys want to get in here and sound off with me, that is the way to do it, okay? I am here to let you guys vent, to get it off your chest. We are going to do this in orderly fashion. We will bring people on one at a time. You guys can get 2 to 3 minutes to go ahead and sound off, and then I'm going to pull you guys back, and we're going to keep the show going, okay? There's a lot to discuss, though, man. The 49ers dominated a lot of aspects of this game. Time of possession, yards, overall plays, turnovers. Penalties weren't that bad this game. They weren't as bad as what we've seen, I should say. But the penalties were still pretty freaking bad. And that's going to be something that we have to get better at, all right? If you look at even first downs, the Cardinals had 10 first downs this week. 10. The Niners had 33, over 3 times the production, guys. The Cardinals were 2 of 12 on third downs. The 49ers were 10 of 17, all right? The Cardinals had a total of 220 yards, while the 49ers doubled their production with 447. They had 164 passing yards, and we had 300 passing yards. They had 56 measly rushing yards, while we had 147. But here's the difference. The Cardinals had 0 turnovers, while the 49ers had 5. And that, my friends, is the difference between winning the game and losing the game this week. I am looking forward to you guys getting me in here, talking with me. I'm going to try to keep my eye on the chat, but it's kind of tough to do when you're doing a solo show. All right? Now, I see people saying already, put Nick Mullins in. Put Nick Mullins in. CJ caused some fumbles and things like that. And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm pissed off, guys. I am pissed off. I felt like this was the last chance for the 49ers to win a football game, and we blew it. We completely gave it away. I'm sweating. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. This is just not a good thing to see. Do I think CJ Beathard killed us? I don't know. I don't know. I've seen worse from backup quarterbacks, but at the same time, CJ Beathard did hold on to the ball too long at certain instances, and he caused some of his fumbles and turnovers. All right? It's not good enough. It's not good enough. CJ Beathard came out in his first game. He had a really good game. I liked what I saw. It came out this week, and I wasn't happy with what I saw. So we are going to tend to go back and forth a lot on what we see and what we think here. And that's why I'm looking forward to talking with the faithfuls here, okay? Too many turnovers, too many dumb mistakes. I see the comments and everything. An embarrassment of a game. You're absolutely right, Sack Kings. You're absolutely right. There's no listen, 49ers aren't expected to win every game. When you lose your starting quarterback, when you lose your number 1 running back, when you lose your number 1 wide receiver, you are not expected to be super productive on offense. None of us were expecting that. We just wanted to see us be competitive. We wanted to see us look like we were prepared to play a game this week. It didn't look like that. Even with all offensive production, it didn't look like the 49ers were prepared to play a game this week. And now all of a sudden people are already talking about the draft. That's sad, guys. We're only 5 weeks into this. We got 11 more games to go. That is a lot of games, 11 more games. And we're already looking forward to talking about the draft. That's nuts, man. And I want Nick Bosa just as bad as you guys do. But come on, man. I can't see me watching 49ers football and just rallying for draft position already. And listen, I said it in the keys to victory that this was the battle for the basement. 49ers are going to finish last in this division. There's some pros and cons to that, okay? Let's start there. When the 49ers get Jimmy Garoppolo back, we will be having a fourth-place schedule. We will be playing the easiest schedule of all the teams in our division. That should boost us up a little bit. But it's the fact that we have to watch this take place and unfold week after week. The NFL is heavily regretting giving us all these primetime games. I heard that our last primetime game has already been flexed out. That is the earliest flex out I've ever seen in my life. And this was before we even played today. This is crazy. The 49ers could have won today. They could have won today and gone 2-3 on the season and been like, oh, you're almost a 500 team, perhaps. No, we were flexed out before the game even started. All right? There's things that are happening that we should be taking advantage of, and we're just not doing it. We're just not doing it, man. And by the way, let me try to give you guys a little bit of positivity. A positive spin here is this. The defense actually looked pretty fucking good today. Freaking good. The defense looked pretty freaking good today. I was happy with the defense. 2 of 12 on third downs. You let them convert 2 third downs, and I believe one of them was a penalty. The defense looked good, guys. I saw really good tackling. Reuben Foster was out there running with one arm. He couldn't even move the other arm. That right arm was glued to his side, but guess what? He was still wrapping up and making tackles. 2 third down conversions, but we just couldn't get it done, man. This is a problem, guys. This is a problem. Let me try to catch up in some of the comments here. Let me see what I see here. Douglas says, hi, everyone. Just want to let you guys know I'm very disappointed in this portion of our team. Absolutely. I agree with you, man. Easily the worst team in the NFL. Yeah, it's going to be hard for this team to win another game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You guys are sitting here hoping for the 49ers to miraculously win 7, 8, 9, 10 games. Pack it up, man. It's not going to happen this year. It is not going to happen. All right? Turnovers killed us. Absolutely. The defense did their part. The offense produced when they kept the ball. The turnovers were the reason we lost this game. And I saw a lot of people absolutely killing our field goal kicker in Robbie Gould. Bro, he missed one kick in like the last 30. No, it is not his fault. He was due to miss a kick. It was bound to happen. But get us in field goal range and hold on to the ball a little bit more. And we could have won this game. It's not on Robbie Gould. It's not on Robbie Gould at all. Let me see what else we have here. So we gave the Birds their first win. Shake my head. I missed the game because of work. Oh, yeah, Marquise. Yeah, this is not a game that you want to see, man. Did that jersey arrive, by the way? Marquise, I see you in here, man. I want to know if the jersey arrived. All right. I just got popped down to the bottom, so I kind of lost my spot. I'm just trying to read some more of these comments in here. Again, guys, shoot me an email, nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. If you want to get on here, if you want to sound off, that is your opportunity. Let me pull up the email now while I'm sitting here just to see if there's anything in the inbox. If you guys want to get on, I will definitely give you guys your opportunity. All you got to do is just send me a message or give me blank. I'll know exactly who you are and what you're here for, okay? Did AC forget how to play football? That is a good question. So let's start with that. The biggest play of the game, probably the game changer, happened very early on. First quarter, their first fucking possession, their first freaking possession. I promise you guys, it's my last time cursing this entire broadcast. All right? 75-yard touchdown play. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. Adrian Colbert had been on the sideline. That's the first thing you do is give up a huge play like that, bro. It was horrible, man. I know people wanted to kill Ahkello Witherspoon and things like that. That wasn't on Witherspoon. Even Coach Shanahan came up with the presser and said that he was supposed to have help over the top. There was no help. That was 100% on Adrian Colbert. But again, guys, the defense rebounded. They rebounded in a hard way, man. I mean, that was a game changer, but that wasn't the game. We had plenty of opportunity to come back from that. Plenty of opportunity. You can't blame the defense for this no matter what. No matter what. Every defense is going to give a player 2 a game. We gave up one big play. That was it. That was it, guys. The defense was there. They were sound. They were stout. That was a really, really good defensive showing. For the first time all year long, our defense showed up all 4 quarters. That was not on them. That was not on them. And I didn't like that Adrian Cobra play any more than the next man, but that was not on the defense, guys. All right, what else do we have here? No killer instinct. I agree. Jersey hasn't arrived yet. Okay, all right, you'll get it. You'll get it. I think the coaching needs to change. All right, so let's talk about that. Kyle Shanahan's offense can obviously produce some points. It can produce some yards, right? This week, we didn't quite see it with CJ Beathard. If you guys were to make a change to this coaching staff, what would it be? Because we had a ton of injuries. I mean, how much do you want this team to do with their backups? Let's just take a step back for a second. You lose your starting franchise quarterback. That right there is going to cost you 5 games. I don't care if you expected the team to go 16-0. Now you're down to 11. You're already down to 11 wins. You lose your starting running back and McKinnon. That's got to cost you 2 or 3 games right there also, right? So you go from 11 games down to 9 games, right? You lose your number 1 wide receiver. Okay, that's Marquise Goodwin. He wasn't in this game. Let's say it cost you a half a game. We won't even count that yet. But then you lose Garcon for an extended period of time. You lose Dante Pettis, who was your number 3. So we are down our 1, 2, and 3 wide receiver. Well, guys, that's going to cost you a game. That's also going to cost you a game. And the offensive linemen that you trotted out there, well, they were injured also. Joe Staley had 2 penalties this week. He was out there. He fought hard to come back, but he was injured. Weston Richburg, we lost. We lost Weston Richburg. We almost didn't have him in this game at all. And then there was Mike McGlinchey. McGlinchey battled through it. He ended up playing the whole game. But come on, guys. That's got to account for something. The cards were stacked against us for sure. They were absolutely stacked against us. Now, I'm not saying that that's an excuse. I'm not saying that the 49ers didn't have a better opportunity to win this game or anything like that. But when you lose so much on the offensive side of the ball, how can you expect to win? How? We were out there with our starting tight ends. That's it. That is all we had out there. Not the number 1 wide receiver, not the number 2 wide receiver, not even the number 3 wide receiver, not the number 1 running back, and we lost the number 2 running back during this game for an extended period of time of also. Like, come on, guys. I'm not trying to make excuses for this team or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that I got my hopes up. I want us to be a little bit more competitive during this game, and we just weren't that, okay? And if we're not that, then there's not much we're going to be able to do. We got to face facts. We got to be real here, man. You know, you lose that much on the offensive side of the ball, there's not going to be anything that you can do to continue to be competitive, all right? But CJ Beathard, man, a lot of these turnovers were on him in particular. Excuse me while I take a drink, okay? I'm sorry. I'm getting a little parched. All right. I'm sorry about that, guys. And this video is not going to be a long one. All right. I'm actually almost done my rant already. So just so you guys know, this is not going to be a long one. If people aren't trying to join, and I absolutely respect that. Okay. I respect that. But we owe you guys a show. You guys are loyal subscribers to the Nothing But Niner crew. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And whether we win, whether we lose, whether we get blown out or we blow another team out, you guys are going to get what you guys are owed. And that is a reaction show to every single game. I'm not going to sit here and kick and scream. I did have a very long rant on the overreaction show, and I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But in the meantime, man, we got some other things to talk about, okay? The offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals wasn't that great. They even lost Mikey Potty during this game, right? And this was probably one of the better games we saw from our pass rusher in Cassius Marsh. We had Delaire activated for the first time all season. I don't know who this guy is, but from my understanding, he had a decent game. Nothing that stood out on tape, nothing that was eye-popping or anything like that. But I got to be honest with you guys, Cassius Marsh was a little bit disruptive this game. I wasn't expecting to see that. You know what I mean? So we just got to see what's what and who's who out here. All right. This game was a rough one, man. As much as I want to talk about the defense negatively, I can't. They gave up one big play all game, man. This defense was dominant. If you give up this kind of defense performance every single week, there's no reason the 49ers should ever lose more than 5 games. This defense was good. They were damn good this game. And as much crap as we've given them all season long, Robert Saleh, He deserves a round of applause. He deserves some kudos. Robert Saleh put together a hell of a game plan, and he executed it. And his players had every right to be tired because the offense wasn't doing much. But I'll be damned if they gave up, man. That defense looked really, really good out there this game, man. They really, really did. And no, I see Rod Montana saying you're making excuses. This team is bad. I'm not saying this team is good. I am blaming the offense 100%. I'm just saying that what should we expect when you lose so many players on offense? Why did I let myself get my hopes up? Maybe it's our fault. Maybe it's the faithful's fault for hoping to see a competitive game. Maybe we should have been like, bro, no quarterback, no running back, 3 wide receivers down, 3 hurt offensive linemen. Why are we watching these games? You know, maybe we should have been questioning ourselves for having so much hope. Because at some point, you got to sit here and be like, look, that's just too many injuries to overcome. So here's how I would fix the team. Let me talk about this for a second. I like Kyle Shanahan as our offensive coordinator. That man can put together a game plan. I wish we ran the ball a little bit more. I honestly do. But that said, you put up almost 500 yards in a game, you're going to win those games 9 times out of 10. It just happened to be that one time. That was because of 5 turnovers. But I do wish we ran the ball a little bit more. But I'm not giving up Kyle Shanahan. Jeez, I can't even get the words out. I'm not giving up on Kyle Shanahan or giving him up, okay? Robert Saleh, he's been up and down. I've questioned some of his substitutions and some of his play calling and things like that. But let me tell you, I've said it all along, all season, that his scheme has worked. We just need to see better. We need to see better production and execution from the players. We got the production execution from the players for all 4 quarters. There was just that one play. And we can see how this defense can work. Now, granted, this was against the worst offense in the NFL, but it is what it is, and we got to take it for what it's worth. You can only go one game at a time. You can only play whoever is on that schedule. That's it. And Robert Saleh put together a really good defensive game plan this week for the Arizona Cardinals. It was just bad, man. It was just bad. 5 turnovers is not going to get it done. And I'm not making excuses, guys. I'm being real. Maybe we shouldn't have expected a competitive game here with so many losses. Maybe we shouldn't expect that. I don't know. Let me refresh the feed here and see if anybody's trying to jump in. I gave you guys the email. That is an nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. Nope, nothing here still. So, check spam just in case. All right, nothing in there. Okay. All right, guys. So I went on at halftime and I did a little rant to John Lynch. If you guys are on Twitter, John Lynch comes out a day or 2 before every game. He begs the faithful to show up. He begs the faithful to be loud. He begs the faithful to pack the house and get in there early. And my message to John Lynch was why? Why should we? Why should we pay our hard-earned bucks? If you're not already a season ticket holder, what reason do you have to go out to one of these games? What reason do you have to go to the stadium that has no shade on half of it? What reason do you have to go to one of the most overpriced stadiums in the NFL? You can sit here and say, oh, but we bring you your food. Yeah, that's cool and all, but the food that you're bringing us is already overpriced as it is, right? And I compared the 49ers to the Browns. And let me explain why. The Browns are one of the worst teams in the NFL. And we laugh at the Browns year in and year out. But here's the problem. When the Browns have an issue, whether it's pass rusher, whether it's wide receiver, whether it's quarterback, they address it in the first round. They address it in the second round. The Niners have had the same issues for 3 freaking draft classes. Now, I know they've only been here for 2. That's John Lynch. But they haven't addressed it. Pass rusher and wide receiver. Those are the 2 biggest issues for this team all along, and we have yet to address it. We've had 2 drafts. We've had 2 free agency periods, and we have not addressed it. John Lynch, if you want the 49er faithful to come out and represent and be loud and be boisterous, you got to give us a reason to do that, man. And they have not done that yet. Yeah, Jesse, this is why I drink. Exactly. That's why we got to turn up so we can keep watching this crap. This is like self-inflicting wounds, man. We can't keep doing this. It's not good. It's not acceptable. We're never going to get ahead like this, man. No, it's not time to jump ship, Edgar. I got 49ers tattooed on me, bro. I'm not going anywhere as a fan. I'm always going to be here, and I'm always going to represent for the 49ers. But I'm going to watch the game from home. I don't have to pay my money $40 to park out there, $20 to tailgate, $10 for a fucking hot dog or a beer. That's the money I don't have to give them. I'm going to watch, I'm going to cheer, and I'm going to hope we win week after week. But I'm not going to sit there and pay my hard-earned money to sit out in the baking sun when after you guys tell us we can't give you any shade. That stuff I don't have to give them. That's what we can do. That's the difference right there. And John Lynch, you go on Twitter and you beg the fans to watch week after week, bro, can't do it. Can't do it. You can ask all you want, but you got to give the fans a reason to come out there. It's a lot of time to go to a football game. It's not just a 1 hour game. I know there's 4 15-minute periods, and that only equals an hour, but there's stoppages, there's halftime shows, there's TV timeouts. Just to watch the game by itself is a 3-hour process. Then you want us to come out and tailgate. You want us to get there early. You got people traveling and sitting in traffic, man. You want us to give up 8 hours of our Sunday so we can watch this shit? No, the fans deserve better than that, John Lynch. We deserve a lot better than that. And we're not going to give it to you if you guys aren't giving us a reason to do it, man. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you live down the street, or I don't care if you live like me. I'm all the way on the East Coast. I have to do a lot to get to a 49ers game. You're not earning my bucks. I'm going to watch from home. I'm going to support. I'm going to scream. I'm going to tweet. I'm going to do all that stuff. I'm a faithful, baby. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be hoping we win every game. But you're not giving us a reason to come out to the games. You want to know why the Browns continue to have good ticket sales? It's because their team gives them a reason. The Browns suck, but they say, you know what? We need a quarterback. That first pick is a quarterback. The Browns suck, and they say, you know what we need? We need a pass rusher. That first pick is the pass rusher. When the 49ers suck, that biggest need is a pass rusher. What do we get? Solomon Thomas? Mike McGlinchey? And don't sit here and say, oh, the offensive line needed some help. The offensive line needed some help. You let go of Trent Brown, and you created a need when you drafted Mike McGlinchey. You could have got a pass rusher early in this draft. You chose to create a need at the right tackle position. And I'm not mad at Mike McGlinchey. I like Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey is way better than what Trent Brown was doing for us. So don't get me wrong. That's not the beef that I have right now. That's not the message that I'm sending to the faithful. All right? I appreciate and respect Mike McGlinchey. I really, really do. But we created a need when we let go of Trent Brown. We drafted Mike McGlinchey, and then we traded away Trent Brown. But what if we kept Trent Brown for one more year and we drafted an edge rusher? All of a sudden, this offensive line isn't half as bad as what we thought it was going to be. We got some pressure coming off the edge, and then we could have won 2 of those first 4 games that we lost because we could have got pressure on the quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? The Browns at least address the biggest needs, and they might miss. They might miss. The Browns have drafted a quarterback in the first 2 rounds for the last, I don't know how many years. And they failed on a lot of those guys. They failed on a lot, but at least they're trying. And if they don't get them in the draft, you best believe they're players in the free agency market. They went out and got Tyrod Taylor because they thought he was one of the best quarterbacks on the open market this year. He might not have been that guy, but they thought he was, and they went after him. Okay? Yeah, we traded for Jimmy Garoppolo. Cool, we got our franchise quarterback. What about pass rushers? What about wide receivers? What about the big running backs? You guys went and got a 3rd-string running back from the Minnesota Vikings and tried to tell us that he was the next coming. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You had Adrian Peterson over there. You had Toby Gerhardt, a whole bunch of other bum-ass running backs over there, and that guy couldn't crack the number 1. Even after all those injuries in Minnesota last year, he was still the 3rd-string running back. You guys going to sit here and try to put blinds over our eyes and say, this is the next guy, this is the guy, that's the one? He's the one? Come on, man. That was the big free agency move? McKinnon? And that's no knock on McKinnon. I haven't seen McKinnon do anything for the 49ers, bro. Preseason, he wasn't impressive. I'm not there. I'm not privy to the information what's going on in practice. But you can't sit here and sell the 49er fans and beg us to come out when your biggest free agency acquisition is Jerick McKinnon, a guy who's not on the field right now. When your biggest draft pick is Solomon Thomas because you went to school with him, and now he's barely getting snaps. Come on, man. The faithful deserve a little bit more than that, John Lynch. You can't beg us to come out and spend our hard-earned money and spend hours out there in your parking lot and in your stadium when you're not giving us a reason to come out. But the reason the Browns fans show up and show out, they might go out to the games, but they got their paper bags just in case you guys are a shit show. But at least they're going because they feel like, you know what? At least we got Myles Garrett. You know, at least we drafted a quarterback in the first round. At least we went after Carlos Hyde. You know, at least we got the first round pick at quarterback and the free agency quarterback. One of those guys might work. They double up on it. The 49ers just don't address it at all, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. How do you expect the 49er fans to show up and give you their hard-earned money and time? It's not just the money. You can get tickets anytime you want. You can get tickets whenever you want. But you want us to come out there and sit in that baking sun, and you're not going to go after the biggest needs? Everybody and their mom knew that the 49ers needed a pass rusher. We need somebody from the edge. And what did you tell us after the draft? Well, no one's going to come in here and just take the job from Jeremiah Tauchu and Cassius Marsh. Really? You ended up cutting Cassius Marsh, bro. Come on, man. It's not right. You can't tell us that this is gourmet food and it smells like shit. It looks like shit. It feels like shit. Don't ask me to taste it, bro. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. That's all I'm saying. The 49er fans deserve better than what we're getting. We're not asking you to go out here and win all 16 games. We hope we win all 16 games. We want to win all 16 games during the regular season, but at least show us that you're trying. When you create needs with your first overall pick and Mike McGlinchey, and then you trade away the right tackle that we already had here that was decent in pass protection, you're creating a need. That's on you, bro. When you trade back a spot and you get a guy like Solomon Thomas that didn't fit your scheme before he was even drafted, that's on you, man. You're creating a need there, bro. That's on you, John Lynch. So don't sit here and tweet us and ask us to come out and show support. I'm going to support from my home. I'm going to save my time and my money. I'm not taking flights because I got to take a connecting flight to get to the West Coast. I'm not taking flights to get over there to the West Coast, bro. I'm going to stay my black ass right here at home, and I'm going to watch the football games. I'm going to be just as disappointed at my seat as opposed to being over there in the heat. I got air conditioner at home. I got food at home, and all of it's cheaper than going all the way to California to watch this product. You got to give us a reason to show up, man. And right now, the 49ers aren't doing it. All right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that John Lynch isn't doing some things well. I think that at the end of the draft, we kill it. Guys like Julian Taylor, who, by the way, can't get activated, but guys like Julian Taylor, George Kittle, Trent Taylor, those guys have been productive. Adrian Colbert, he was productive also. Richie James, someone I have a lot of faith in, but we haven't seen him get on the field yet and do anything. Got to get that young man some targets. There's players out here that we're getting later in the draft. But the reason the Browns fans show up is because they're going after the biggest needs early in the draft. They're going after the biggest names that they can get. They're spending all that cap space on free agents. We're not doing it here, man. Who was our biggest free agent acquisition? Well, we had Jerick McKinnon one year, and the year before that, it was Kyle Juszczyk, a fullback. Those are the biggest free agent acquisitions that we're going to get? And you want us to come out early for that? We need pass rushers, man. And don't say you're putting your best foot forward. The Jaguars have been saying all offseason that they want someone to come out and reach for Dante Fowler, who's familiar with our system because they play the same system in Jacksonville. He's an edge rusher. Where's Dante Fowler? Where is he? You're saying you're putting your best foot forward, then where is he? I understand that you guys lost the sweepstakes for Khalil Mack. That's fine, cool. You're not going to win them all, and I appreciate you guys trying. But when Dante Fowler's still on Jacksonville Jaguars and they have openly said that they're shopping him and we're struggling to get some pressure off the edge, that's on you, man. You can't ask the fans to come out and do stuff like that. Richard Sherman, cool, I appreciate the acquisition, but he was injured, he was hobbled. We didn't even know if he was going to play. We had no clue. We had no clue, man. We had no clue, man. It's crazy, man. You know, I don't want to spend all my time here ranting and raving and stuff like that. And I'm sorry for the people who are watching this. If that's not what you wanted to hear, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am proud of the defense and the way they played today, but this was also one of the worst offenses. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. When you have a 24th ranked defense in the 49ers going against the 32nd ranked offense, you should expect the defense to look pretty good. And we did today. The defense did their part. Kyle Shanahan's offense actually put up some decent numbers other than score. But those turnovers, that's on your backup quarterback. That's on CJ Beathard. And I'm not ready to beat up CJ. You know, he's not going to have a good game week in and week out. He's not. But we should have run the ball a little bit more. The Arizona Cardinals struggle against the outside zone. We didn't take advantage of it enough. And I understand that we lost Breida and that kind of changed things up. I get it. That's cool. We still ran the ball very well this game. We did. All right. But the fans deserve a little bit more. We deserve a little bit more. And no, we don't have to win every game. I'd have been cool if the 49ers lost this game, but we at least look competitive. We didn't look competitive, man. We continually shot ourselves in the foot. Those offensive penalties that happened over and over and over all game, the 2 false starts by Joe Staley, the illegal formation, the holding penalties, self-inflicted wounds, man. You can't expect us to keep showing up and trying to cheer for this team if we're going to continue to beat ourselves. I'm okay with losing the teams. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop being our own worst enemy. And until the 49ers can do that, you can't expect faithful to go up there and spend their hard-earned time and money in your stadium. You can't do it. It's not that we don't want to, but you can't expect us to do things like that, man. Reuben Foster looks hurt. I'm looking at the comment screen real quick. Yes, Reuben Foster seemed to have hurt his right arm or shoulder. I don't know what it was. No, I'm lying. I do know what it was. Kyle Shanahan said in his presser that Foster hurt his right shoulder, but he went back out there. But I saw a play at the end of the game where he was going after David Johnson, and he couldn't lift his arm. He made a one-arm tackle with his left hand. He couldn't lift that right arm. That shoulder is pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up. Hopefully he heals up and he gets better. But I will say this. We can't beat the Arizona Cardinals. It seems like the season is shot already. I don't want Reuben Foster making it any worse. So if it means going out there and still losing games or him sitting out for a couple of games to get 100%, I prefer Foster to get better. Because until we stop hurting ourselves, it's not worth our star future players getting injured. All right? That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, I see someone saying Julian Taylor should be in. He absolutely should be in. Let me scroll up and see some more of these comments here. Thank you, Mike. No reason we shouldn't have won. This is terrible. Exactly. Hope John Lynch is watching this. Embarrassing. We could have gave up what the Bears did for Mac. Absolutely. We got the money to sign Mac. This team is looking at over $74 million in cap space next year. And who do we have to really sign back? Who is our big guy next year that we're bringing back? Is it Armstead? They're probably not bringing Armstead back. Is it Jimmy Ward? Ain't no way they're bringing Jimmy Ward back. Buckner? Sure, let's extend Buckner. But there's no other big names that we have to bring back next year. There's no reason the 49ers shouldn't have won up the Bears and got Khalil Mack in here. And this is before the Jimmy Garoppolo injury. I can see if this happened after Jimmy's injury and you say, you know what, the year is shot already. We're not going to waste all that money. This was before that happened. Don't sit here and try to tell me, oh, well, if we had done it, we weren't going to win anything anyway because we lost our quarterback. We didn't know that at the time. You can't use hindsight in an exercise like that. There's no reason we shouldn't have gone after those guys. All right? There's more to do in Cali. Cleveland is Cleveland. That's another reason that they show up in Cleveland, because they ain't shit to do out there. And no, I'm not saying John Lynch needs to go, guys. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think they're smart with how they approach free agency. I think they're smart with how they approach the draft. I just don't agree with everything, you know? And if you're not going to go out there and make the big splashes, which I don't expect us to do every single year, all right? I don't expect that. Let me give this front office some praise really quick. I love this offensive line that we have when they're healthy. When they're healthy, all right? We saw a lot of screen plays executed today. That first drive, let me tell you guys something. The lead blocker on 2-yard passes, they were screen passes, okay? 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, but 15 yards down the field, it was Joe Staley and Weston Richburg. It was Joe Staley, Weston Richburg, and Mike McGlinchey. It was Joe Staley, Lakin Tomlinson, and Weston Richburg. Those boys were down the field. They built this offensive line for those reasons, to be athletic enough to get down the field. I understand what they're doing. I don't want you guys to think that I'm trashing this front office completely. That's not what I'm doing. There's pros and there's cons to everything. We got to balance this thing out here, all right? But don't sit here and completely abandon the pass rush issue that has been the biggest need for this team since Alden Smith got suspended, okay? You can't completely abandon something like that when you're picking up guys like Kentavious Street, who got injured during pre-draft workouts with the Giants. You can't do that in the fourth round. Kentavious Street had a 4th-round grade on him before the injury. Before the injury, he had a 4th-round grade on him. And you pick him up in the 4th round knowing he's got a torn ACL and he can't contribute to this team this year? You could have got that guy in the 6th round. You could have taken anybody that played the edge. You could have taken anybody. It didn't matter if he worked out or not. At least show the faithful that you're trying to address the biggest needs. We haven't done that. And that's the issue that with me and this front office going forward. That's the issue. It's not about whether or not we fix everything in 1 year or 2 years. This is the 2nd year of a rebuild. Listen, I understand that. I'm not saying that this should be a Super Bowl bound team this year. I wish it was. I hope it is every year. I wish we went out. I hope that these 4 losses are all the losses that we suffer this year. But I'm a realist also. And I know that we haven't addressed a lot of the biggest needs. We've had 2 free agency periods and we've had 2 drafts to address the edge, and we haven't done it once. The biggest edge guys that we brought in here were Jeremiah Tauchu and Cassius Marsh. And both of them were off scrap heaps. We cut one guy and the other guy is rotating in. We picked up Solomon Thomas, who wasn't a system fit before the draft. And now that he's here, they're still experimenting. In year 2, they're still experimenting to figure out where he fits in the system. That's not worth a number 3 overall pick. It's just not. And had no one, if the Bears weren't willing to trade down, you'd have picked Solomon Thomas 2nd overall. All right. Luckily for us, we ended up trading back and we were able to move up and get Reuben Foster. At least we got some positive production from the 1st round that year. But without trading back, we wouldn't even have had Reuben, bro. You have blown 2 first-round picks. You've made needs when you didn't need to. And no, Mike McGlinchey is not a bust. I thank God Mike McGlinchey is here. He's going to be a great tackle for years to come. All I'm saying is that we could have done a better job. Guys, I got to get up out of here, man. I can't do this anymore, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. All right. Let me see. Let me just check the last bit of messages here. I'm sorry. Let me just check the last bit of messages here. No, guys. I don't have anybody yelling at me and talking to me in my ear, telling me what to say and who is saying what. So I apologize. Right. Once Jimmy got injured, the stadium lost money. Hey, listen, man. The 49er fans' feelings were hurt once Jimmy Garoppolo went down. I can tell from our views on these videos. All right? You guys don't see this maybe, but Nothing But Niner, we chart this kind of stuff. We watch the responses in the views of these videos. Before Jimmy Garoppolo got injured, we were getting 3,000 views of video, man. 3,000 views of video. Jimmy Garoppolo got injured. We lost him for the season. All of a sudden, we can't even get 500 views of video. The fans are hurting, man. The fans want and deserve more. They should get more. You know what I mean? But it's just not happening. So there's not much else we can do. My man Tony is here, and Tony was here at the game. Tony, I'm wrapping this thing up here, bro, but I'm going to give you the floor, man. Let the fans know what you saw today. Let us know what you think, how you feel. The floor is yours, my man. Go ahead.
What's up, Mike? I don't have a voice because I was obviously yelling like a maniac. But clearly we outplayed Arizona in all aspects of the game except for 2. And that would be the turnovers and the penalties. And that is the reason why we didn't win today. Flat out. Flat out, Mike. That's the issue. Sloppiness, turnovers. Garcon had a couple passes off his hands. One was an interception. The play with CJ Beathard was unexcusable, how they just knocked the ball out of his hand, and he didn't even see it coming. And that's really it, man. I'm disappointed. Came all the way out here from Jersey. And, you know, it is what it is.
You know, and that's what I was just telling the fans out here is that John Lynch goes on Twitter week after week and begs the fans to show up early, beg the fans to be loud and things like that. And my thing is, what's the incentive? We already know that we all love the team. We're going to cheer for this team no matter what. But why pay extra money to go to these games, pay for parking, show up and pay overpriced for food and beverages and things like that? You know what I mean? I can watch these games from here. I can go to the store and I can get a full, I'm not kidding. I can go to the store and I can get a case of beer and watch this game for the price of 3 beers at the stadium.
You're 100% right.
I can get a pack of hot dogs for the cost of 1 hot dog at the stadium. John Lynch can't keep going on Twitter and begging the fans to show up and show out when he's not giving us a reason to do it, when you're neglecting the biggest needs from this team. There's no reason the team shouldn't have addressed the edge in two drafts and 2 free agency periods.
Well, I think, unfortunately, Mike, there's going to be a little change coming up this offseason with this roster. And I pray to God that they don't put heat on Kyle, because Kyle, I watched the whole game live, like you said. People were open, Mike. People were wide open. And CJ just was not. CJ is becoming the Alex Smith, the check down guy. I mean, listen, the first drive where they scored, they came right at me in the end zone. Bro, they went right down the field, Mike. They looked awesome. Holes were out there. I honestly think when Breida went down, that took the momentum out of the offense. Morris played well. He catched the ball in the backfield, I think, 2 or 3 times. But the issue is he's not fast enough to get to the outside. And you saw on numerous plays where he makes his cut and then he tries to just, bull right through the middle, and it's not happening. I will say this, the run defense played very well. Very well they played. And to be honest with you, I know we all put pressure on Saleh. The defense did its job except for the first play of the game.
I said that. Other than that 175-yard player, however many yards it was, the defense was really, really good today.
They played well, Mike. And, I'm getting a little second-guessing on this Seattle scheme, but the defense played well. They had 50-something rushing yards, I think. 50 or 68 rushing yards they had. I was talking with fans next to me behind
56 rushing yards. They had 56 rushing yards, bro.
I was talking with fans next to me behind me. The guy goes, wow, we have 5 turnovers. I said, let me tell you something. This team's lucky they're only down by 8 points with 5 turnovers.
And that's how I know. Well. Wait, Tony, that's how I know that the system can work. We put up 500-something, almost 500 yards with 5 turnovers today, bro.
But the key, Mike, is Sherman. They didn't even look on that side of the field. They looked twice. One he overthrew, and one was the push-off where they called the flag on the wide receiver, which was blatant as hell. They looked at Sherman's side twice.
But see, that's why you bring in a guy like Sherman to make this defense work better. There's two ways your defense can be good. It's with pressure on the quarterback or making a team one-dimensional. If you can force a team to throw to one side we have a very good run defense here. Okay? We have a really good run defense. That's been good all year long, except for last game against Melvin Gordon. He was the first guy to top 100 yards all year. He's actually, if I'm not mistaken, he's the first running back to top 100 yards in 8 games for the 49ers. So that's that. We've had a good run defense here. But the problem is that's it. There's nothing else. You can throw all over the field. Well, when Richard Sherman's out there, he is playing like the best cornerback in the NFL. But now they're forced to throw to the middle of the field or to the left side. That's it. Yeah. That's it. And you can control that. You can kind of dictate what they're going to do. But the turnovers are what killed us today, man. It was too detrimental. We couldn't overcome it, Tony. We couldn't overcome it.
You're right.
So now you're telling me – now I haven't been able to watch the All-22, so you had a better view of it. You're telling me that players were open all game long, but CJ Beathard wouldn't pull the trigger?
There was one play in the third quarter where he dropped it off to Juszczyk in the flat. It was – I don't know the exact call they're out, but it was kind of like a seam corner. Bolden went right down the seam. The safety just didn't even pay attention to him, and he broke it to the corner, and he was wide open. I'll go right here.
That's nuts. That is insane, man. And see, that's why I'm saying I can't wait to go back and watch. I know Kyle Shanahan is a really good offensive coordinator, but if he's got guys that aren't going to pull the trigger, and you moved up in the draft for this guy. This is his second year in the system. You can't keep making excuses for CJ Beathard. And I don't expect him to be an all-pro or anything like that. But CJ Beathard has got to be able to step up, man. And if guys are open, you got to throw the ball. This is his second year in the system. You got to learn to throw with anticipation, not just waiting to be wide open and turning around and facing you and putting their hands up or clapping and screaming for the ball. You're a second-year player now. You have to execute and throw with anticipation. If you can't do it after 2 years in a Shanahan system, we have to find another backup. And by the way, and I'm still not going to beat him up. I'm not going to beat him up because I think he had a good first game. The second game wasn't as good, but I think he had a good first game. All right. So right now it's a push.
Hit Mike. Listen, CJ didn't have the perfect game. Obviously, last week was better, but you can't put this all on CJ. You can't. I mean, he threw for 300-something yards. I mean, his timing was off. Yes. His 2 costly mistakes cost them the game, in my opinion. Yes. But drops are not his fault. Do you know what I'm saying? And there were a lot of drops. The tackling shored up on defense. But, I mean, listen, the person who I feel horrible for, absolutely horrible for, is Kyle. Kyle was on the sideline. He looked absolutely frustrated. But on the bright side, the players did not quit. So it shows you they still respect him and they're still fighting for him. But
absolutely, I do believe. Listen, man, I question Kyle Shanahan as a head coach because of what happens on defense. But this week he showed me a good rebound. If the defense had another bad showing this week, I would have had a lot of trouble saying that. But the defense showed well, and the players continue to fight for him. This game was close all the way up until like the last 10 minutes of the game. This game was really close.
It was heartbreaking, and I question 1 or 2 play calls by Kyle. I mean, you see Kyle trying to set things up. You see him pound the run, and then to get the deep shot. But the problem is, when they set up that deep shot, he's not throwing it.
Exactly. And Kyle Shanahan can't make the quarterback pull the trigger. He can't make him pull the trigger. So there's only so much we can blame him for. If he's designed the scheme to work, that's it, man. The player got to execute it. And today we saw the defense execute. We saw the offense come up short. That's just the way it is, man. So, Tony, listen, man, I want you to be out there. Try to enjoy the rest of your trip out there, bro. Thank you for jumping on here. I got to wrap this thing up over here. I got the baby here. She's going crazy. Say hi, mama.
Hi.
Look, say hi.
Hello, honey. How are you?
You gonna wave? No? That's a shy wave. Okay. You got a half a wave there, buddy. Look at the shirt's all wet from the boot. Hey, there you go. That's it, mama. There you go. All right, but Tony, man, thanks for say hi. Look.
Hi.
All right, Mike. I'll be in touch.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Last time signing off. There's the stadium.
Oh, signing out from Levi's. All right, guys. So Tony jumped in here to talk with us a little bit. I appreciate him doing that. But listen, faithful, I got to get up out of here, man. It's been a long one, man. You know, this game was it was hard to watch, man. And I'm not willing to give up on CJ Beathard just yet. I do think that he's got some more that he can bring to the table. He's got to just pull the trigger sometimes, man. And it's hard for a young quarterback. You know, you see guys like Aaron Rodgers, or you know what? I won't even use Aaron Rodgers as an example. I'm going to use a guy like Drew Brees as an example. Drew Brees will – hey, let Daddy talk. Drew Brees will see his players in one-on-one situations, and he'll pull the damn trigger, man. He'll throw the ball out there. He'll throw it nice and deep and give them a chance or an opportunity to go and win it in a one-on-one situation. But young guys like CJ Beathard just won't do it. They can have one-on-ones. They can have – if they're not wide open, they're afraid to pull the trigger. But you have to trust that your wide receiver is a wide receiver for a reason. And the guy going against him is a DB for a reason. The DB's hands usually aren't as good as the wide receivers. So that's what it is, man. We gotta keep this thing together. I want the faithfuls to stay faithful, man. Don't give up on the team, but you don't have to spend your money. You don't have to go out there and spend your hard-earned time. You know, those precious hours of life that you can't get back with family out there at that stadium, baking in the sun until they give you a reason to do it. So I'm gonna sign out now, man. You guys be safe over there. Listen, man, you guys know how I get down already. All right. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but above all else, stay faithful. I'm out of here. Peace.